Good morning. It is 10:01. It is December 23rd. Call to order. Eldon Callan.
Here.
Ed Hawkins.
Here.
And Tom Bloom. We're all here, and we'd like you to rise for a moment of silent meditation, then pledge to the flag. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will now have consents and approvals.
Okay, we have 11 exonerations today for $2,981.84. Fiduciary orders for December the 16th and December 23rd. We have no minutes to approve this week. Vouchers, General County, $180,260.94. 911 cash, $3,528.04. Chestnut Ridge Park, $1,376.88. Camp Muffley, $4,676.92. Mason-Dixon Park, $398.22. Assessor's valuation, $6,977.76. Key card vouchers, General County, $5,183.69. 911, $103.63. Home confinement, $8,322.87. Chestnut Ridge Park, $418.26. Camp Muffley, $271.88. Mason-Dixon Park, $169.91, for a total of $211,689. And we have no budget revisions this week.
Move for approval. Second.
Been moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes. Do we have any introduction of any new employees? Nope.
I would say no.
Okay, good. At this time, we will have comments from the public. Anyone like to speak their mind? Feel free to stand up, state your name, address, then please feel free to say anything you would like. Does anyone like to say anything? Sure.
Mr. Bloom and Commissioners, James Gaston, 1388 Fenwick Street, Star City. I don't know whether you have time there, but I may need a couple of extra minutes, and I hope you'll stay with me on it. I'm here today based on the comments at council meeting last night and some questions that I have raised in the past few weeks. But I'd like to step back for a moment. The architects of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, if they were to appear here today and particularly go before our Congress and the Judicial Division and the Administrative Division and look for a few days what was going on, and then get together with the President and he would stand up and say, well, what do you think, fellows? I think their response would simply be, really? You know, I don't know what's going on in Star City, but I'm not very happy about it. And I have raised some questions, and nobody seems to want to do anything. So, because of my previous responsibilities to this commission, I'm appearing here today. I was one of the designers of the TIF program for Star City. I was one of the co-chairs of the committee that formulated the TIF program for Boyers Avenue. It was announced by the mayor last night that, yes, I was correct in my assumption in our previous meeting that the design of that project called for a 15-foot setback from Boyers Avenue. I pointed out to the commission, or to the council 2 weeks ago after an investigation of mine, that that is not what they're in fact doing. They've only stepped back a total of 10 feet, including a 5-foot sidewalk, which was not what the original design was, and not what you gentlemen heard or what the previous commissioners heard pertaining to this project. Now, you know, this is your project. Star City is just the managers of it. And I recognize that. And when I was in charge, I would come before this commission and keep you well informed as to what we were doing. I was asked to step aside April 14th of April and of 2014, which I did. I had other responsibilities, so I wasn't inclined to argue about it. But I've kept my eye on things to try to keep tabs. The project was turned over to CTL Engineering by the council, directed by Mayor Sharp, At council meetings at the various times, council members would ask why there was additional charges for engineering fees going to the TIF program and different things. The mayor would always ask, well, we're in the throes of putting this project together, and not much more explanation given than that. So I have not personally looked into it until I could see physical things going down, and I went down, made my own measurements and everything a few weeks ago, and they're not doing the right thing. Now they're admitting that they're not doing the right thing, but nobody's doing anything. I'm here today to report this to you because you are the benefactors of this whole project, and we all in the community benefit from it if it's done right. The way they're doing it, all we're going to have is another 2 or 3 lane road, and I agree with Jim Craig on University Avenue. They didn't widen out University Avenue. How are we going to make a nice highway up to Medicine Drive? There at the garage and everything, they widened it out and then they went there again. It's just like Beechhurst Avenue for another example. And I don't want that in Star City.
Before we respond, could you, again, because I'm still trying to understand the direction you're going, what is it that you would like us to do, and then I'll have anyone who'd like to respond.
I would like you to stop the project.
Stop the project.
You have the authority to do that, and I would ask that you do that.
And on what basis, again, just for clarification, what's specific? Besides the roadway not being 15 feet, I understand that. Are there other design?
There's other issues. The Department of Highways have stepped into the project, and they've asked for certain things to be done. They weren't ever a part of this. I don't know why it was done. They have gotten into a situation where there's an ADA question. So as part of this, they start tearing up sidewalks on the 2 sides of Leeway. It should not have been done. There's various things that have been done in this. They put a drain across the road to create a drain on the side of the hotel. That should have been a state road project, not this TIF program.
Hey, and you're saying they're using TIF money for that?
Yes, they use TIF money. That's part of the project, the contract. It was an addition, I'm sorry, it was an addition to the contract.
Well, we had a difficulty with the change of administration there in Star City and understanding that Star City, what is it, Class 3?
Class 4.
Class 4, thank you. Class 4 town doesn't have the authority to do TIFs, so any TIFs in those towns are actually county commission TIFs. And we had that difficulty. If they are not, I can respond this, and this is generic reply. If they or the contractors are not performing to the specifications of the plan, and we got our bond counsel here that can expound on that if he wants to, Mr. Tom Amon, are not performing, A, we don't have to pay for it, and B, it's got to comply. Otherwise, it's not authorized, and I think the engineers would recognize that also, which is what concerns me. Tom, am I correct on that, or do you want to expound on that? I mean, in terms of Star City, they're Class 4. Right. He's saying that they are not performing the project to the plans that was approved here. I'm just trying. I don't want to ask you specifically. I answered generically. I'm just asking you generically. Is that correct?
I know Jim has mentioned some of the detail to me, but I don't know all the background. But there is, of course, the project plan, and there's a development agreement between the County Commission and Star City. Essentially, Star City will carry out that project plan on behalf of the County Commission. And then it's fairly broad as to what can be done, but it's mostly on, the towns. I want to say the downtown side of Star City, and specific to Boyers Avenue, University Avenue. But it would include the widening of the road, the acquisition of property, the installation of public utilities along that roadway, and streetscape improvements. So anything that's within those parameters would be eligible to receive monies from the bonds and the TIF program. The specifics of what's to be done, I think Star City probably has discretion to carry that out, but it's up to their project engineer, the consulting engineer for the project, working with Star City to determine what the scope of that project is. And then if the contractor is not carrying out the scope of that work as determined by the architect in the city, or the engineer in the city, then that can be an issue with the contractor. So it depends on who has decided what the scope of the project is and whether it's being carried out and who's responsible for carrying that out at that point.
No, I think where we're at is that we need to get the mayor and the engineers in here.
Is there a specific individual that's named on DOH's side? Because I think.
Well,
it should be also-
DOH should be involved
Yes.
too, you know, we could bring in DOH, I'm sure they'll come in as well.
What I'd like though is, when we have this, probably put this on a work session, and I doubt
Yeah,
next Wednesday
yeah.
would be good because it's too quick.
No.
But give them like a couple weeks, but maybe the first week in January, because the concern I just have is, could you write up, your specific questions, so that way we could deliver it, so we can know what, because right now, just calling them in, just talking about will not resolve the issue. But if we could see the specifics of your
Yeah,
concerns.
Well, the specific of the concerns, but we gotta pull out the documents, just like
Right.
Tom just talked about. We'll have to review those documents. But that would be good. As well, you made
Yeah.
some mention of comments made last night. What was that about?
Yeah.
Well, I raised the question about the scope, since Tom mentioned scope, of it being a 15-foot setback.
Right.
And I pointed out to the council 2 weeks ago that they were in fact not doing what was originally planned and what was designed as part of our URS program and study that was done, and all else that was done.
Okay, we'll have to review all the documents.
Right.
Figure out what level of discretion, as Tom just mentioned, Tom
Well,
Beaman just
I
mentioned.
came in today primarily because you were gracious enough to give an extension last meeting to extend to July 1st.
Right.
There's time enough, if we shut them down now, to get the corrections made and get it done before July 1st. But if we delay it too long, they say they're gonna have their project done in 3 weeks, weather permitting.
Yeah, I think at this point, the critical factor would be determining what direction Star City has given to their consulting engineer as to what the scope of that project is to be.
Right. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I don't know how to figure it out right now.
Well, I can certainly put together a set of questions.
I think you probably want to hear from the engineer at this
Right.
point. Because he can give you an indication of what Star City has told him as to the scope of the project and what his house to be designed and the width of it and the setback and all those parameters. And then, if Star City is directed that it's to be a 15-foot or 10-foot, and that in fact is what is being done, then it's in conformance.
Right, well, that's what I'm getting at,
Yeah.
Everything from the project plan approval to the.
Well, I think you're okay with the project plan is fine.
What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
everything from the project plan approval to the what you call letter of agreement development agreement between us and Star City, and what we authority we delegated to them, all that comes in issue, then also down to what you said, between the town council and the engineer.
The project plan, I think, would contemplate all of this.
Right.
I think the development agreement gives the discretion to Star City to carry out those infrastructure improvements in the manner that they see fit, since they are the entity that originated the plan and requested those improvements. So then it becomes a question of what direction Star City has given to the consulting engineer, to me.
I just don't want to get in a point of work being done and then it's not in compliance.
Right.
And because then I'm not speaking to this case, again, I'm just answering generically. I could not approve an expenditure that did not
And that's what
deliver.
it comes back to, is
Right.
ultimately, the Star City is going to prepare a requisition to submit to the county commission requesting that you all approve the payment of the costs. And at that point.
If it doesn't meet the standards, generically, I would not
Approve it.
Would it be possible then to see if we can get them on the work session next week? Because this is, if you're saying several weeks, we need to hear beforehand, because I do not want, again, generically say it doesn't meet. It may or may not meet. We don't know.
We gotta look.
I think we need to hear from the other side to know what the concerns are and what's going on.
From my point of view, that would be
Yeah.
great.
If we will try and see if that's possible.
Yeah, and I think, the difficulty is that ultimately this is our project, and it's gotta meet all, and we're the ones that have to
Pay the
approve
bill.
the funds. And, so it has to be performed. But I don't wanna say that anything's wrong here, and I understand, Jim, what you're saying. And I appreciate the input in the report, because these things are always difficult. Sadly, it's coming at a bad time of year, but do we have all the documents here?
Yes.
I'll review them today
Okay.
and report back to the other two commissioners
great.
if I see something really critical. But regardless, let's get together and resolve it next week.
Yeah.
How
Okay.
about
We'll try and do that.
Does
Yeah.
that work all
I'll
right?
get my questions into you as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Please, if you can get
Thank
them
you
to me
very
this
much.
afternoon. You got my email, Jim. Yeah.
Okay.
If you just email me, to me and Renetta, the other commissioners will get them also.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak? And again, thanks, Tom, for jumping in there. Okay, public is closed. Okay, grants, Renetta?
I have one grant application to submit to you today. It's a West Virginia Homeland Security grant, and it is a collaborative effort between the Sheriff's Department, Mecca 911, several of the municipalities, Star City, Westover, and Morgantown.
Okay.
And the sheriff's here, and if you have any questions, they're applying for $76,970. It's for some computer equipment for some deputies and for some other officers. It's just a standard application. If you have any questions?
Is there any resolution to it, or is
No,
it just
sir.
sign the application?
Sign the application.
I'd move to authorize the president to sign the application to this grant. Second.
Properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It passes. I sign the grant. Okay. At this time, we could have a proclamation for ending homeless, and appreciate if, state your name and address so we have it for the record, and then if you would read the.
Certainly, thank you. My name is John Sonenday. I'm the Executive Director of the Coordinating Council on Homelessness. My home address is 2322 Hasswell Drive in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Thank you very, very much for giving your attention. You all have been incredibly supportive of the work that we're doing to reduce homelessness, and with that support, as the proclamation will indicate, we are making some remarkable progress. And with that continued support, I think for the first time now I can honestly say we are going to end homelessness in this community. Whereas every person in our community deserves a place to live that is safe, warm, and stable, and whereas the plight of those without a home is both lonely and difficult, whereas those experiencing homelessness are at a much increased risk of serious illness and death, whereas everyone, whatever their status or condition, does better in housing than without it, whereas homelessness is a complex social problem that has many different causes and takes many different forms, whereas lasting solutions to such a complex problem requires all community institutions, government, service agencies, business, faith organizations, law enforcement, university, private citizens, all working together in a community-wide effort. Whereas our community-wide efforts have reduced the number of persons experiencing homelessness from 123 in 2012 to less than 50 today. Whereas this experience demonstrates that the strategies to end homelessness are working and ending homelessness is an achievable goal. Whereas everyone in our community has a stake in addressing this problem, and all will be served by reducing the number of persons in our community who are homeless. Now, therefore, the Monongalia County Commission does hereby proclaim January 2016 as Ending Homelessness Month in Monongalia County, and urges all citizens to participate in efforts to end homelessness in our community.
Move to approve the proclamation as read.
Second?
Proper moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It passes. We'll sign it right now and then give you a copy of it immediately.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate all your work on this.
You're very welcome, and we appreciate your support. It's remarkable what is happening, and because you all were a big part of getting this whole thing started. And about 5 years ago, you joined the City Council in creating the Task Force to End Homelessness, which developed a plan of a community-wide approach. And ever since that happened, we have started having some significant success. No guarantees, things in the economy can change and stuff, but we feel very, very confident that it will continue in this direction.
That's great. That's great. Well, that would be a remarkable accomplishment if you could actually end homelessness.
Now, when we say ending it, of course, that doesn't mean nobody will ever again become homeless. But what it means is effectively, if they do, they don't stay that way.
Right.
We can deal with them in about 30 days and get them restabilized, and that's our goal, is to reach that.
Well, you might find more people coming in knowing
Who
that
we are already.
they can get help that they might not be able to get in another community. That's what I was thinking.
That's always a possibility. But on the whole, we do find most of our folks are West Virginia people, or Greene County, Pennsylvania, or Garrett County, Maryland.
Very close.
We're the hub of
this hub. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I know the state is moving towards what other states are doing, the housing first, to get them into the house first, then deal with the problems and the situations. And that's what I know we're trying to do, and trying to get some more apartment, I don't want to call them owners, more people to be willing to donate maybe one apartment for that situation.
And more of our landlords are being very cooperative to accept the voucher programs, the HUD vouchers and things, so that we are getting a couple of them have just been fantastic about working with our clients. And we are now providing support to those people, so it's not like you're just renting to people off the street. If you do have issues, which is sometimes what has made people reluctant to rent to folks who have been experiencing homelessness, we now have social service folks and other volunteers working with them. So if a landlord is having problems, they have someone to turn to, we get the problem sorted out, and it doesn't become an eviction issue. And the communities that are doing that have found that evictions have virtually ended because of that kind of cooperation.
Well, thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have considered adoption, an amendment to the boundaries of the real property tax increment known as the County Commission of Mon County Development District Number 4. And Tom Amon is here to either answer any questions or to provide information or whatever. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Tom.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Just a no change from the public hearing.
Okay.
Have an order that, hopefully you've got a copy of the order.
Yes.
And you'll see the attachments. You've got attachment number 1, which is Exhibit A, parcels to be added to the district. And you'll see very detailed tables by tax map, parcel number, and owner, and assessed value, the base assessed value for all of the parcels that are being added. And you've got, and I'll show you then in the mapping on Exhibit C. This will be the amended boundary map. It's a color map, and you can see the original TIF district is all in the green. And then what's being added, we had it broken down previously going into the public hearing with what was proposed to be added by the commission, the county commission. That's the blue area. The development authority area, we had originally proposed to include all of the development authority. Then as a result of the discussion at the public hearing, we just brought in the 2 parcels, which are basically the undeveloped properties in the development authority. Or the industrial park over there. And then the parcels proposed by Monview, which this is the additional property that's owned by Monview in the area of the district. And so this is what we decided on as a result of the discussions at the public hearing and input from the Development Authority, the developer, a couple of the property owners that had come to the meeting and requested that the two larger tracts that are between the Development Authority, the County Commission, and the original district, that they be excluded. So they were removed. Those three parcels are not included. And so this is what we're left with. The development, following the public hearing, the application was submitted to the Development Office. The Development Office approved it. We have the letter, which is a part of the order, indicating that approval to the Commission. This would be a final order that would conclude the proceedings to add these additional properties into the district. And because the order is being entered in 2015 calendar year, we would have a July 1 of 14 base assessed value for these properties, which are indicated in that table as to what those base values are. I think that's pretty much it.
Right.
Unless you have any questions.
I don't think I have any questions. I do want to point out that after the public hearing and after we had approved the modifications, I did talk to Mr. Andrew Warnick, and in that discussion I explained to him how there would be no harm by inclusion. Told him if he wanted to send a letter, go ahead. So after the public hearing, after we did all the approvals, he did send that letter. I wanted you to have a copy of it. This was the appropriate time to present it. It was procedurally, it was outside the time to consider, but when you consider the issues they brought up, the issues are actually 180 degrees off of the factual situation. They said that they didn't want to be a part of it because there is no benefit to us. Well, in fact, there's no benefit, but there's also no harm. It does not adversely affect anyone, and I've tried to emphasize this to people. It does not adversely affect your property whatsoever, not in any fashion. The other thing they were greatly concerned about was that they would be annexed into Westover because they were in the TIF. Well, or there would be some sort of encroachment. Well, actually, by being in the TIF, they're less likely to be annexed into Westover because it's no financial benefit, really, to speak of, or little financial benefit for Westover taken in. So, for that goal, that is actually that is actually helpful. Now, by not including them, we adversely affect them, the TIF, in two fashion, and other property owners. One, the Development Authority is adversely affected, and second, this TIF has always been about regional development.
Right.
The criticism we received is that it's about one developer. That is not true, and we've proved that repeatedly. There's over 45 property owners on or 40 property owners on the west side. That is not about a single developer. It's never been about a single developer. And the key about the infrastructure and about improving the roads is the inclusion of that lawless road section that creates that regional development. There is, so even if you look at this outside the procedural issues, and I want you all to chime in as well, outside the procedural issues is the fact that, number one, they're concerned about going into Westover. By being in the TIF, they're less likely to go into Westover. Number two, they don't want to be encroached on in any fashion. Well, by being in the TIF, we cannot, the TIF law specifically prevents eminent domain, so their property is protected. So the issues they said that was utmost to them by the merits would say you need to include this property because it would adversely affect other property owners, adversely affect the TIF, and do no harm to this property. So that is a decision on the merits, which we don't even have to deal with because procedurally we've already this has already been ruled on, but I thought we should address it just out of utmost transparency to this to Mr. and Mrs. the Ornan family.
It's called, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Man, and it doesn't harm them at all.
But I agree with you. I think you said the key word, regional and comprehensive plan, and that's what we're trying to do. And it isn't just one property owner. It's an area, and it actually benefits them. So it is after the fact that they send it in. So
it's these right here,
Right.
on Lawless Road.
right. So therefore, I see that we just move forward, and I asked for a question for adoption of the.
Okay, I just wanted to ask Tom if there was
Yeah.
anything he wanted to add, or.
Yeah, I mean, just by including those properties in the district, no improvements,
Yeah.
the properties can't be acquired by the county commission or any other party without their agreement to sell, which there's no plan to try to attempt to acquire that property. There can be no improvements, alterations, installation of infrastructure, streets, anything else without their consent.
Then no eminent domain.
Yeah, and there can be no use of TIF for eminent domain purposes. So there's really no way that they can be impacted by being included in the TIF without their consent to utilizing the TIF program for something relating to that property. And by not being included in the TIF, if they were excluded, technically, MUB or DOH or someone else could use eminent domain to
do that.
build roads or other improvements on that property without utilizing the TIF program to do that. So they might actually have more risk of having, things that they don't want done on their property being done if they were excluded. So, and as far as their taxes, their property taxes that they pay are not impacted in any way, whether they're in the district or out of the district. No eminent domain. As far as annexation by Westover, whether they're in or out of the district, it makes no difference. It doesn't impact the analysis as to whether Westover would attempt to annex that property or not, whether it's in a district or not. So, really, I don't see a way that they can be harmed.
Yeah.
I would move that we adopt the final order as approved by the Development Office.
Second?
Been properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It passes. It is now adopted. Thank you.
There's 3 and then 1.
Yes, that order is for your all's record, so you can keep that.
Okay,
If
then
you
you
could
just need these back.
Yeah, if you could send all the signature pages back to me, then I'll.
We'll do that when we go in executive session and that you have some time.
Okay, the certification, Ms. Blaney's out of town,
Yeah, there's
so
something
That's
there.
fine.
we'll get that as soon as we
Yeah,
can.
that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you,
Thank
Tom.
you all. Have a good holiday.
Thanks,
Thank you
Tom.
very
too.
much. Merry Christmas. We'll hold off in the executive session. Correspondence, we did receive a letter from Chief Judge Gajot, and it states
It's administrative order.
an administrative order.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
for the record.
Pursuant to notice received from the Monongalia County Commission that it has declared December 24th, 2015 as an extension of the Christmas holiday and December 31st, 2015 as an extension of the New Year holiday, it is hereby ordered that all courts in Monongalia County will be closed on Thursday, December 24th, 2015 and Thursday, December 31st, 2015. During such closure, magistrates are on a holiday weekend schedule. Pursuant to West Virginia Code 222, all filing deadlines for December 24, 2015 are extended until December 29, 2015, and all filing deadlines for December 31st are extended until January 4, 2016. The clerk is directed to send a copy of this order to each circuit and family court judge, each magistrate, and the magistrate court clerk's office. Further, the clerk shall forward a copy of this order to Stephen D. Canterbury, Administrative Director of the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals, dated 14th of December 2015.
Thank you, and we're just putting that in the record.
Well,
Do we need that?
we authorize that, we authorize by motion the closure of the others with the, just to clarify, with the approval of the judicial branch.
Right.
I would just like to formalize it by making a motion that the buildings will actually be closed the county buildings will actually be closed on December 24th and December 31st, since both the judicial and the administrative branch of our county government has agreed to close.
Second?
Proper move in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we received something from Chack Neighborhood House.
Yes, we received,
Merry Christmas. I have
Thank you.
questions to do.
Okay.
Thanks.
we received a holiday card and the 2014-2015 year in review from the Shack Neighborhood House. Tom, you asked for this to be on the
Yeah.
agenda. Is there stuff
No,
that you'd
just,
like to point out?
just that, and we just share it with the other,
Okay,
since I received
you all
it.
received copies?
Okay.
I'd just like to state, however, I'm really familiar with their programs, particularly the Happy School and a couple others. If anybody is deserving of our support as well as the community support, it is this particular entity, the Shack.
Good. Any other correspondence?
No, sir.
Okay, we'll go to unfinished business. We were going to do it last week, but I thought we could just do a Cliff Notes version. A report was in front of us, and I just wanted to highlight some of the things from each month. And as I said, I was kind of shocked. I didn't realize how much we had actually done, and the amount of growth and prosperity that this county has had, despite some of the problems that the state has had. So this is a very positive statement for the people who work for the county, the citizens, and we just wanted to give a little bit of a recap. Basically, in January, we honored and greeted the new elected County Commissioner, Ed Hawkins, and then recycling started to become a major issue, and we did get the Marion County to work with us in the Blacksville, Arnottsville, and Wadestown area for recycling. In February, we finally, after many months of negotiations, came up with a tow policy that was revised, and we appreciate the Sheriff's Office was instrumental in making those appropriate revisions. In April was very exciting. We actually, on April 10th, WVU opened their baseball season against Butler at our new Monongalia County ballpark, and later that ballpark was voted as the best professional ballpark in the country. Then we also we sponsored an essay contest for Monongalia County 8th grade students. They took an active role, and then again, also they were submitted to the state level. I think all three were winners again from our county too. Is that
Well, they're with a combination of our winners and some other ones.
right? So again, kudos to the school system. In May, we received exciting information that from Keith Burdett that the approval of additional bonding capacity for the expansion of the west side of I-79 TIF district. The base sales tax amount was also agreed upon by the state. In June, the county continued to provide recycling services on Saturday at Hornback Road Walmart, and what we planned, we then funded it for the entire year, the first 4 Saturdays of every month. And then on June 19th, again, another successful, exciting day was the Black Bears opened their season in Monongalia County Ballpark and actually won the league. Yeah, they came back and won the league, so we're very excited about that. In July, the commission was honored for their part of the dedication ceremony for PFC James Wickline Memorial Bridge, and then we had a reception there in Osage. We also participated in the grand opening of the Morgantown Readiness Center, adjacent to the Morgantown Municipal Airport. In August, and I completely forgot this, the Hartman Bridge was open. I just assumed it would happen so long ago. I forgot that it was this year. It was held on Friday, August 7th, and quite excited about the naming of it and also the opening of it, because it was about, 18 months, was it?
What's it?
2 years? How long was it closed?
No, it was less than expected. It was closed,
Yeah.
I think, for 12 months,
12 months, okay, but that was neat.
thereabouts, something like that.
Also, we finally adopted a personnel handbook for the county commission. Then in September, we had a grand opening at Chestnut Ridge Park for the new renovation of Clare Lodge, and we wanted to recognize the hard work of the construction crew who completed it. And September 15th marked the official opening ceremony of the Monongalia County Justice Center. We had then a reception afterwards. In November, the commission conducted a public hearing to amend the boundaries of the TIF application. The commission, District Number 4, sorry. The commission previously adopted a personal handbook, and then Travelers Insurance notified the commission that because of this, our liability insurance went down significantly. And then the community leaders were brought together at Mylan Park for the official announcement of a cooperative agreement to build an aquatic center and track facility. And lastly, this month, we had a reception for Diane DeMedici, who retired after 41 years as the county administrator. And also, again, we want to promote that when we looked at the calculations that was saved by the staff, the county staff and construction crew of almost $497,796 for renovations and repairs, and continue to do this with the 911 building and some other buildings that are going on. So again, a very successful, positive year. I didn't know if anyone wanted to add anything, but I did hand out the reports to both the media who are here, and just wanted to highlight. So something to leave on a positive note. Any comments?
It's been a good year.
Yes.
Ditto.
Ditto. I like that. Okay. Other.
I did have one more thing, correspondence. I failed to mention it earlier. And I spoke with Eldon about it yesterday. It's the FERC, I believe is what you called it?
Yeah.
Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. Do you want to speak about it?
They just submitted, they just opened up their Scope 2 document. The Scope document is basically the guidelines by which they're going to do an environmental assessment. It's sent out to all the, I haven't had a chance to read it in its entirety. I skimmed over it yesterday. Basically, it is looking at the placement of power units along the Monongalia River, all the dams, those license applications, which must be approved by them, and of course the EPA must finalize it. FERC adopts the scope, sends it out to all public entities, and any public any citizen or any public entity can also respond to the scope. I've been involved in this throughout, as well as the city in terms of Morgantown, but I've been involved with it in terms of all along the Mon River, Opakiska and Hildebrand also. And basically it just gives the guidelines by which they are going to do their final environmental assessment. I think it's pretty standard the way I looked at it, and I think it will be fine. But it should be mentioned, versus commission needs to be aware, the public needs to be aware that FERC is continuing to review the licensing process on those potential power plants into the future, and I will continue, as this commission has authorized me to do, continue to monitor what's being done.
Thank you for that report. Any other?
No, I'm sorry. Yes. Go ahead. No.
Oh, okay. New business. We have appointments to the Mon County Development Authority.
Yes, we conducted a couple of interviews last week, and we would just like to hear your thoughts on.
Well, we
our
got
interviewees.
2 terms. They both we got 2 positions, right?
Two positions. Yes.
And what's the term dates?
They're both the same? Or?
They would actually. They're not actually filling anybody's vacated term. They were terms that were never filled before. So Holly from the Development Authority, she suggested the term would end on 5/5/19.
Okay.
And then we would have other people expiring.
Right.
At different
That
times.
would create the proper rotation.
Yes, correct.
5/5/19.
5/5/19.
That's 4 years, right?
Yes.
I don't think we're allowed to appoint him for more than 3 years. I don't think, I would have to look at statute, but I think the maximum we could appoint anyone is 3 years. I don't think we.
And let's do 5/5/18 and then we'll review it in 3 years.
Well, we may need to discuss that then, because that's the schedule that she's got set for us.
I know the terms are set by statute and,
Right now, we have 7 individuals that will expire in 2018. We've
Correct.
got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that will expire in 17, and 1, 2, 4 that will expire in 16.
yeah, I don't, we could either appoint them for a 3-year period, because I'm certain the statute.
Well, let's appoint it for a 3-year period and then we can review it and then if, how's that sound?
Well, that's what I think we need to do.
Okay, that's fine.
Because, you know, I'm not perfect, I can make mistakes, but I'm almost certain. But the last time I made a mistake, I realized that I hadn't made a mistake, that was my mistake. No, I shouldn't have said that, I keep forgetting I'm on camera, they keep.
So let's go, do we have an appointment for May, to end May 5th, 2018?
Let's just,
It's 3
let's end it December. Well, we end it December, what's wrong with ending it in December?
Okay,
I mean, that way there's some overlap.
gotcha.
12/31 of 18.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
We need
And
the
and
names.
I would move, is it all right to include both of them together?
Yes.
Any objections?
Yes.
No.
I'd move to appoint Tom Witt and David Lorenz.
Second?
Properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, it passes. Consider adoption of the revised building ordinance for the volunteer fire department, and that has been reviewed by Marcia Ashdown and,
Well, it's,
Philip Matthews.
Phil Mager, well,
Right.
through her office.
yes.
And did anybody want to discuss that, or?
Well, I think this is the billing that is allowed by statute that basically goes for service provided by volunteer fire departments. 95+%
Great.
of this is paid by insurance companies.
Yes.
And based on, I would make the following motion, based on the advice of our council. I move that we find that the charges as set forth in the billing ordinance attached hereto as a draft are reasonable reimbursement fees, and that we approve these updated fees as reasonable reimbursement fees. Making one note that there was some language change that allowed the billing to present, to reflect a maximum charge as whatever is set by the legislature, which is currently set at $500, but in the event that is increased by the legislature,
Modify.
that's the only other modification other than the rates, so that's my motion.
Okay.
On behalf of the fire departments, I'm really happy to second that motion.
It's been properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It passes. Finally, Metro Drug Task Force. Do we want them on that? No, just kidding. There's a question. Again, there were 2 vehicles that would now be, we would be licensing them, we would be in charge of them, and we did find out that theoretically anyone from there could drive the car. That was one of the concerns we had, since could everyone, and yes, as long as they show their license. So they would be allowed. The other question that was brought up was, it does not change our cost this year, but it would go into effect next year when we,
We renew our insurance every November,
okay.
and so our premium is set. for
Premium
the
would
year.
set.
They will do
There
an
was no
audit
change.
when we get ready to renew next year.
Okay.
And if we have additional vehicles, then the cost will increase at that.
And those were the questions that we needed just answered. So is there a motion to move forward on this?
So moved.
Second?
Been properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
You got
Congratulations.
it, Sheriff.
Thank you, and I'm sure
and then we're gonna bill you next year for our increase.
Yeah.
They, just to ease your minds a little bit, the guys that are assigned to those particular vehicles, they're the ones that operate them
Right.
only. So it will be just our people driving
Okay.
those vehicles.
Well, good.
So it won't be individuals from other departments then? Okay, good.
They take them home, they take care of them, they know, the mechanics. And I do have to say, that'll be a great asset to them because with Chris and Charlie at the motor pool, I have to tell you, and this is kind of giving them an attaboy. Since Chris has started over there, him and Charlie work very well together.
Yeah.
We've seen a major increase in time of vehicles that are down has diminished so much.
Good.
And they do a wonderful job to get them in, get them out, whatever's wrong with them. And so this will be a big asset to the two guys that we have in the task force. And anytime they need serviced or something done to them, we know they're going to get in and get out. So they do a great job over there.
Thank you.
Well, it's definitely needed. What was it, 2 pounds of crack cocaine? What was
In
it?
Marion County?
How many pounds of crack cocaine?
Yeah.
They were looking for a big party this week, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Someone.
Someone is.
They're always looking for a big party.
Yes. Are there any other new business?
No, sir.
Okay. Would you like to bring up, well now, oh wait, reports from elected officials.
Nothing for me.
Okay.
Me.
That's good enough, okay. Yeah, reports, did you have anything else?
No.
Okay, reports from county commissioners.
I am still, there was a meeting regarding the airport. This is the second meeting, a third one is scheduled. So I'm not going to give a report. I would like now to ask Commission's permission, however, to continue to attend these meetings and represent Commission, as we go forth. It's more or less an ad hoc committee looking toward what we can do with Morgantown's airport.
I'd move to appoint Commissioner Hawkins to represent us on those committees.
I'll second.
And report as the usual.
Properly moved and second, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's the holiday season. I'd like to ask everybody out there to at least think of the homeless and our proclamation. As people, we can do a great service in the community. Also think of the homeless, of those who have 4 legs and fur. I'm a strong proponent of what Dana does. I called her yesterday to see if I could possibly donate some food, and I found out that, wow, they have tons of donations at this time of year. But if you are thinking about adopting, contact Dana and adopt a dog, not a puppy. Adopt a kitten, a cat instead of a kitten. They're looking for people. But I must commend her. She told me she even cooks turkeys for the animals on the holidays. So I thought my bounty with my animals was extreme, and it is nice to know.
Turkey was poisonous.
Just as we'd like to
Oh,
commend,
the bone.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
we'd like to commend Bobby on this savings. That's $500,000.
Yeah.
All right, that's a lot of county money that the workforce that he directs has saved the county. It's been a good year. I'd like to thank everybody.
Thank you.
It's been a good year. I wish everyone happy holidays. Be safe, be careful. One thing that I've always based my life on is family and friends, and that includes my four-legged friends, are what makes life worth living day to day, and giving and sharing and trying to do good for others is key to that. And I'm going to end my report right there with happy holidays, and I want to thank not only our staff, but I want to thank you two commissioners. We've had a good year. We've had tough times. We've had tough issues to deal with, and we got more coming in the future. But I want to compliment both of you for your willingness to work together and resolve issues as we enter the new year.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. While attending the Recreation Commission meeting, I did want you to know that I was asked, and I'd like to put on the work session, they have an opening for somebody elected by the county to be on the Mylan Park Board. We've not filled that position before. They asked me to pass on to you all. I have no idea who we would want, but we could just discuss. It could be us, it could be someone we recommend, it could be someone. But I just wanted to put that on the agenda.
Sheriff's sitting right there.
I also,
I'll
since
move one of the other
Yeah.
9 boards. That
I also want to thank the newspaper. I know sometimes we get upset with them. They had an exceptional editorial about what we are going through and the other counties are going through, and the concerns about how we're going to fund certain programs in the future. And I appreciate them understanding what we did. We took a proactive role. They were very pleased with that, and looking forward to us to get input from the community. And I think that's what the three of us wanted to get across, and I think we will meet along that lines. I talked with a couple city council members from Morgantown. They love the idea that they'd like to work with us on having that meeting concerning the possibility of levies to look into the possibility of a library, transit, and recreational levy. Yeah, fire. And first responder, fire/first responder. So we will look at those 4 areas, and we'll discuss that when we want to set up a meeting.
If I may, I want to re-emphasize that the meeting is for discussion purposes.
Yes.
It is not to promote any particular thing. I guarantee you someone will come in here and say, you've already decided you're going to do that. That's not true. And the people that's watched us over the years know that the 3 of us make up our minds after we get all the facts.
Right. It's a discussion to see which direction to get input. And I think that's the key that we're going to try and do. And finally, yes, I do want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday. I can't say enough about the workers of not only this county, but also the fire and policemen who go out every day and protect us. And I just hope that everyone has a safe and great holiday. And with that, I'll ask for a motion to go into a very short executive session pursuant 6-9A-4-2A.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do I have a motion to come out of executive session?
Move to come out of executive session.
Second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do I have a
Move to
motion?
adjourn.
Second.
Properly moved and second. All those in favor to adjourn say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned till December 30th.